Dealing with women is probably one of, if not the most challenging thing for men who haven't gone their own way. And as such, if XXs are a vice for you, then it is highly likely that they will lead you down the path of poverty and destitute if you're not careful. So to counteract this, men had to come up with ways of determining the women who were more likely to cause chaos and turmoil in their lives, and this led to men looking for signs, or what we use today as red flags, to identify these traits of women. Sadly, because of our biology and lustful spirit to bust gallons of nasty nuts, we often overlook the signs that a woman displays to warn us that she is a toxic and dangerous individual. Still, we bypassed all the waving red flags and proceed anyways, only to learn the hard way later, which could have temporary or permanent repercussions. For example, a woman could be in these streets and very careless with her body with every and anybody. And you see this happening in real time, but because you want to bust that nut, you proceed anyways, and mid-stroke, she convinces you that it would feel so good if you would just bust up inside her. And you being in the moment feeling good, and your lustful spirit who's in control allows her to yank off the Jimmy hat, and you enter her gushing wet vice grip and roar all up inside her. Then 3 months later, you get a call that she's pregnant and wants to keep the child. And if you're not going to be a part of the child's life, you will have to pay child support. At that point, you realize that overlooking that one red flag that showed you she was in these streets would end up costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars when all you wanted to do was bust a nut in peace. You see what I mean? So it's stuff like that, which is why it's important to look for signs that she is not suitable to be trusted or be in a relationship with, regardless of what comes out of your mouth. How good she looks or how she makes you feel. Because being realistic, it is probably impossible to find a woman on this earth who doesn't have a red flag, because none of us are perfect, and we value different things. Because what might be a huge red flag to you may or may not be seen in my eyes as a red flag due to the type of person I am. In my personal life, I've seen men in relationships with women who had multiple tattoos and piercings, and they love seeing their women with these features. But for me, I know that that's a red flag, or those features of hers tell a story, so I would have never chosen to be with someone like that had I been relationship-minded. But here's what mind F's a lot of dudes. The woman with multiple tattoos could be perceived as a 304 off the bat, and the woman who doesn't have any tattoos is the virtuous and good woman. But if you dig deep, that's what she said. You may find out that the girl who has the tattoos is a better human being than the girl who looks like she's a good girl. While the girl with the tattoo may be a ride or die, and the other girl is a big 304. So it's a bit tricky to determine which characteristics a woman displays that automatically disqualify her when she might, in fact, be the opposite of what the signs are telling you. However, in my opinion, there are telltale signs women display that automatically let you know that you must abort the mission ASAP and run in the opposite direction and never look back. Like if you were in the wilderness and came face to face with a hungry 400-pound lion, your gut and instincts would tell you to run in the opposite direction as fast as you can to avoid being eaten alive. Only a fool or a person high off smoking opium would ignore his instincts to run and march forward in the direction of the lion. We know what would happen to that man when his name is being broadcasted on the television that he's now lion feces, but that's neither here nor there. So just like the man that ignored the threat of the lion and became manure, so will you pay the price if you ignore the red flags that women display in your pursuit of getting your salami wet? And in my opinion, I find it sad that men can't get to bust a nut in peace nowadays without women putting their life, freedom, health, and financial future at risk. But it is what it is. No use crying over spilt milk at the end of the day. Let's look at some universal red flags that no matter where on earth you live, all men must avoid if they want to live their life in peace, quiet, and freedom. Before I dive into it, tap the like button to help this message reach more men. Alright, let's dive into it. Red flag number 1 that all men must avoid is the argumentative and nagging women. Look, gents, I have a grandmother like this, and trust me when I tell you that this woman can be a pain in the butt. That is probably an understatement. Women like this love to argue and start fights for no reason but to feel the good emotions of going back and forth and causing drama and chaos for their personal fun and excitement. Not only that, women like this tend to be annoying and take away peace from men. So if you choose to be with a woman like this, you will never have peace and quiet in your own damn home. Then to top it all off, these women cannot stop nagging you for all the stupid ish you did or didn't do. Like you will legitimately clean up the entire house and look after dinner for this woman, and when she comes home, she will argue why you are at home so early and she never asked for any of this. Men run, that's all I have to say. Women who love to argue and annoy men do not make good long-term partners regardless of whether or not they are loyal. It doesn't matter if she is a ride or die chick if every day you have to be fighting and going back and forth. The stress you will have to endure daily will kill you sooner or later, so keep that in mind. This is the caveat of the situation. Some men actually love drama, and women like this because it gives them a reason to argue and have heart-pounding bedroom fun. So while you and I might hate a woman with this bad character trait, you have some men who absolutely love it. So again, it all depends on who you are as an individual. However, my recommendation is to run and run fast. Trust me when I tell you that it will not be worth it based on what I've seen. Red flag number 2 that all men must avoid is the born-again religious woman. This type of woman is one of the most deceptive women out there because she hides her past under God's protection. Let me explain. A lot of women, before they decided to worship and give their lives to God temporarily, in most cases, were living a life of sin under the watchful eyes of the devil. However, now that she's born again and her sins have been washed away because God saved her, she will claim that her past doesn't matter and only God can judge her. Men, if you ever hear any of these 2 lines, run. I'm dead as serious, run to the hills and never look back. This woman could have been a prostitute, LonelyFans star, scripper, prawn actress, 3-0, and you would never know or be able to judge her because she now has protection under God. I mean, how do you shame and hold someone accountable who has claimed to have given their lives to God and has turned over a new leaf? Exactly, you can't, so it's the ultimate way that she can use to finesse you while appearing to be a good woman. And in most cases, this love and heat for the Lord are temporary, or she's just using it to get a good man, and 3 years later, she will return back under the wings of the streets. And you will be the one left holding the bag. So my advice is that if she didn't grow up in the church, is a virgin, or has been with a handful of men, then do not proceed. I know a girl that was hot for the Lord back when I was in high school. This girl would hold Bible studies and try to get young men to stop fornicating with the girls and turn over a new leaf. Can you guess where she is right now? Literally, I went on her IG, and there she was in a bikini at a party in these streets, brothers. I know those insides have been gutted by Tyrone, Pookie, and Ray, so you better listen to the gents. Are all women who are born again will return back to the streets? No, a very small percentage will stay with their religion and slip up every now and then, but most of them will be riding Tyrone's battering ram while going to church and playing the role of the good religious woman. It's crazy, guys. So when you hear that she recently joined the religion and she's hot for God, run and never look back. Red flag number 3 that all men must avoid is women who hate using condoms. Brothers, I got a girl pregnant because of this ish. Luckily for me, she didn't stay pregnant, but that's the Lord's blessing on my end. You might be thinking, why is that a red flag? The gents. Well, I literally just gave you one reason why. You will knock her up one way or another. Look, this woman is dangerous because if she cheats, and all women cheat in one way or another, whether physical or emotional, but if she physically cheats on you, then she might bring home another man's kid or an STD as a surprise. So if you want to take the risk, not only that, if every time you guys have sex and you go Roski, it's only a matter of time before you breed her. So it's game over for you if you're not in the position to have a child or you don't want a kid with her. Just call it a life and pack it in. Guys, if you're not a part of the vasectomy army and she only wants it raw, then run. I won't even mention STD because I know you guys are not wrapping it up in a relationship. Men, my advice if she's like this is to run. Don't end up like me. Share the video with a man that needs to hear this and subscribe for more hard-hitting facts. Our PayPal and Cash App links are in the description box below to donate to the channel. And if you have any stories to share, our email is also in the description box below. Gents, if you see these red flags, run.